In the summer of 1998, the night was unusually cold for July. A faint mist clung to the streets of Chicago. At Union Station, passengers hurried toward their platforms. Among them was a young woman. We'll call her Sarah Mitchell. Sarah wasn't just any traveler. She was a 27-year-old photojournalist known in press circles for going where others wouldn't dare. War zones, political protests, crime-ridden streets. Sarah had seen them all, but that night, she wasn't on assignment. She told her friends she was traveling to St. Louis for a personal project. No details, no explanation. Witnesses recall her appearance clearly. Dark green jacket, a worn leather shoulder bag, her camera, an old Nikon F3 hanging from her neck. She bought a coffee, checked her watch, and boarded the overnight train at 10:45 p.m. Seat 14, car 3. Passengers remember Sarah as quiet. She sat by the window, staring into the darkness. Occasionally, she scribbled notes in a small black notebook. At midnight, the train conductor recalls walking past her seat. She was awake, camera beside her, eyes focused on something outside. At 3:12 a.m., Sarah's phone sent its last signal, a cell tower near Springfield, Illinois recording the ping. Just 3 minutes later, the train made an unscheduled stop. Officially, it was due to track maintenance. Unofficially, the reason was never recorded in the log. The stop lasted exactly 15 minutes. At 6:50 a.m., St. Louis. When the train arrived, Sarah was gone, her seat empty, her bag missing. No one saw her leave. No one heard a sound. Local police searched Springfield's rural areas. Nothing. The FBI took over. They quickly discovered 3 disturbing facts. Sarah's bank accounts remained untouched. Her credit cards were never used again. The train's security footage was missing exactly 15 minutes, the time of the stop. 6 months later, a farmer cleaning his old barn found a dusty leather bag. Inside, Sarah's Nikon camera. The film roll had only one developed image. It showed a man in a black suit standing beside a black SUV parked dangerously close to the train tracks. Behind him, another man, partially hidden, carrying a briefcase. The FBI traced the SUV's plate. It was registered to a private security contractor with ties to intelligence agencies. Through confidential interviews, agents learned Sarah had been investigating an arms deal in Eastern Europe months before she vanished. The deal involved high-ranking officials, the kind of people no journalist wanted to cross. Then came the most chilling discovery. An FBI analyst recovered corrupted train CCTV data. Frame by frame, the 15-minute gap slowly revealed a scene, 2 men boarding the train during the stop. Sarah standing as if she knew them, a brief conversation. She leaves the train with them, walking calmly into the fog. It's unclear what happened next. Did Sarah willingly depart with the men? Was she coerced? Was this a planned exit or an abduction? What was the nature of her investigation, and why was it so dangerous? Why did she board that train that fateful night? Who were the men? Where is Sarah now? As the years passed, theories abounded. Some whispered she joined the men by choice, leaving behind her old life. Others claimed foul play, believing Sarah was abducted, her disappearance meticulously planned. The truth, shrouded in shadows, remains elusive. Was she a victim of circumstance, or did she orchestrate her vanishing act? Perhaps one day, Sarah Mitchell herself will tell us. But until then, the enigma persists, haunting those who seek answers in the darkness. We are the FBI. We don't have time for games. Leave the room. Close the door. Don't look back. Why do you want to see me? You must be exhausted. Come on, let's go. The old man sat alone in his chair, lost in thought, his gaze fixed on some distant point beyond the wall. His wrinkled face, etched with lines of a life well lived, held 1,000 untold stories. Suddenly, his eyes sharpened, focusing not on the present, but on a memory from the distant past. He was young then, full of vigor and dreams. He recalled standing in front of the towering gates of the FBI headquarters, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. This was his moment, his chance to make a difference, to serve his country. He straightened his shoulders, took a deep breath, and pushed the gates open. Stepping inside, he was greeted by a vast hall filled with agents, each as dedicated and driven as he was. He remembered the oath he took, the solemn promise to uphold the law and protect the innocent. It was a vow he carried with him every day, guiding his actions and decisions. Over the years, he had worked on countless cases, each one a puzzle to be solved, a mystery to be unraveled. He had chased leads, interrogated suspects, and pieced together clues to bring criminals to justice. Every triumph fueled his determination. Every setback only made him more resolute. But there was one case that stood out, a haunting specter that refused to be laid to rest. He remembered the day the call came in, the frantic voices on the other end, the urgency that crackled through the line. A young woman had vanished, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a city in turmoil. He assembled his team, each member as skilled and tenacious as he was. They delved into the case, poring over every detail, following every lead. Days turned into weeks. Hope began to dwindle, but he refused to give up. He could still remember the determined glint in his colleagues' eyes, the shared frustration, and the quiet moments of contemplation. They chased shadows, hoping to catch a glimpse of the truth. They interviewed friends, family, and colleagues, seeking a clue, a motive, anything that could shed light on the darkness that had enveloped this case. One evening, as the city lights twinkled outside his office window, he found himself reviewing the scant evidence once again. The pieces seemed random, disconnected, like shards of a broken mirror reflecting a distorted reality. Suddenly, he noticed a pattern, a recurring detail that had been overlooked. He shared his insight with the team, their faces lighting up with understanding as the implications sunk in. This minor detail was like a beacon, guiding them through the labyrinth of the case. With renewed determination, they followed this thread, weaving their way deeper into the mystery. They revisited crime scenes, re-interviewed witnesses, and uncovered new evidence that pointed towards a suspect. As the net tightened around the culprit, a sense of justice began to take shape. The truth, elusive and fragmented, was slowly coming into focus. But the closer they got to the truth, the more danger loomed on the horizon. The stakes were raised, the tension thickened. He felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on him, the need to protect not just himself, but his team, too. Through it all, he remained steadfast, his resolve unwavering. He had come too far to falter now. The climax arrived like a storm, sudden and intense. The confrontation was fraught with peril, testing his skills and courage. But he stood firm, his training and instincts guiding his every move. In the end, justice prevailed. The culprit was brought to justice, the truth unveiled. Yet the victory was bittersweet. Scars remained, etched not just on the city's landscape, but also on the hearts and minds of those who had fought for the truth. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the city, he found himself back in that same spot, the place where it all began. The familiar surroundings felt different now, imbued with the memories of a case that had tested their limits. The young man looked older, wearier, but his eyes still held the same fire, the unyielding pursuit of justice. For he knew that tomorrow, the sun would rise again, bringing with it new challenges, new mysteries to solve. And he, along with his team, would be ready. They had stared into the abyss of darkness and emerged stronger, more resolute than ever before. The spirit of the old brick building was in their blood now, an unbreakable bond forged in the fires of adversity. They were the FBI, and this was just the beginning. And as the darkness deepened, he whispered a silent promise, a tribute to the countless battles fought and the victories won. "We are the FBI," he murmured, his voice echoing the strength and resilience that defined their brotherhood.